Welcome to the 188th broadcast of the T-Row Show. It's your host, Keith. Got kind of a relaxed show today, folks. Just not really, don't have a lot of pertinent information I need to stuff into an hour, so we're going to slow down a little bit. I'm going to show you some things that you'll probably be interested in. And one of them is, we got a new guy, a new show at the T-Row Show, and it's called the John Adams Show. And I do this with the T-Row Show. We were trying to get to where other people could have their own show, and lo and behold, somebody came forward and said, "Hey, man, I would like to have my own show on your show," because he was reading some information out of the this PDF version called Dark Light, which excellent, top of the world type information. And we have the man who wrote that. We have his permission to go ahead and use it on the John Adams Show. And he was reading it on the Blog Talk Radio, and they censored him. They just wouldn't let it go through at all. You couldn't download the show. You couldn't do anything. He could still log in, but he couldn't either produce or publish a show. He couldn't download the show. Couldn't do anything with it. And he tried to get a hold of them. They just ignored him. So we know what's going on. They're at Blog Talk. They're persecuting people with a specific religion. That's how they are. So this right here, we've been reading some of this in Temple, and it talks about on the Sermon on the Mount and all that, but then it deals with agape love. And if you read the first 10 pages, you'll be hooked on this book. It's like 700 something pages, and John Adams is going to be reading this page, so you can just download it and listen to it. It's not going to hurt you, to download and listen to something. Even if you're not a believer, religious type person, you can still hear it, and all of it starts making sense, and it pulls you outside of the religious realm and gets you into reality. It's amazing information. It's all proven. It has biblical references, the whole thing, all the way through. And what's going on is that the churches are leading people into what they call the false salvation, and they're not telling people the whole story, if you know what I mean. One thing is missing, and that's what this book is about. It deals with agape love and all that, and it's incredible, folks. I'm just letting you know. So you might want to listen to the John Adams Show. He's got the first couple of episodes there, and this will keep going down. You'll keep getting in this. You can listen to that series. And if you're interested in doing your own show with something that is meaningful, it's not just a bunch of scare tactics and rumors and this kind of thing, and it's actually following something. It could be a how-to show. How do you do this and how do you do that? It could be anything you want, really, that type of deal. And we put it up on the T-Row Show, and we get right now. We used to have 6 million views per month. And when the show fell off, the server crashed. I had to rebuild it. It took like a month and a half. That viewership is going back up, so that's a good thing. And we're up to about, I think it's between 300,000 to 500,000 so far, and per month, and it'll keep rising because we put in. We don't ever waste anything. I'm just letting you know. Whenever we publish anything, we don't just publish a bunch of garbage to fill space. Okay, everything that is published, everything that's on the show, it means something. There's a specific reason why we're doing it. It's something that's never been really heard before, that kind of thing. And we publish things that are not, that are being censored everywhere else. Okay, just like this, Frontline Doctors. We got that one. And There was the other one, Plandemic documentary. If you want to watch it, you're welcome to see it. There's other things that we put in here. This guy Charlie Kirk was pretty cool. Okay, he was he was actually funny. Trump's former NSC director of strategic planning. Tell it the way it is. This is a good one too. So just stuff like that. Sometimes they're 10 minutes long or whatever, and this is why if you want to go ahead and if you want to subscribe, you just can subscribe right here. I'm logged in, so that's why you're not really seeing the subscribe section. Okay, so I just want to introduce you to the John Adams Show. Like I said, we're going over that in Temple also, and on the Rating the Heavens Society Temple call that we have every Thursday. We go through sometimes we go through the Bible, sometimes we go through. Well, we've been going through this series, and Divine Revelation of Hell. We go into that. And when you start putting that together along with this other, everything starts really making sense. And it changes your life. It's really interesting stuff. Now on this right here, shows orders. I'm sorry, the in order from latest to the first show. This is all the way down, and this is how we redesigned the show to where people can find things. So now you can see what the show's about. Once a vaccination is required to participate, different aspects of family, social, economic researchers believe willingness will get one will increase. There's decapitated landlord. We have some of that stuff. Frontline doctors, 187th. So it goes all the way down, and you have everything listed there. And this is usually what it's about right here. Okay. So it goes all the way down to 1, I think. Pretty sure it does. Yep. The second broadcast goes all the way up. So there you go. It's been redesigned. The whole site's been redesigned. So looking forward to seeing more shows here. I'd like to see other people that are dedicated to what they do. And if they want to if they're getting constantly censored, they're welcome to come onto the T-Row Show website. We're not hogs when it comes to this. Whatever success the T-Row Show has had, more than willing to share that with people that have something to say. They're good. They're good about it. So at any rate, there it is. So what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to cover the continental dollar. People may have seen some postings on the comments below in the last broadcast. So on this particular one, we just went ahead and took the grafted in symbol, and keep in mind that our intention was not to use Moloch's star. Okay, that's not what we intended at all. What we saw was in the first temple of James, which was Yahushua's brother. There was a symbol there that had the fish at the bottom and then the menorah at the top. And in the middle, when they came together, it formed the star. Well, no one ever thought of it being a Moloch star. No, I mean, really, nobody ever thought of it that way. And honestly, I don't really care. It's just a symbol. So we took the symbol off of everything, even took it off the money. And because we would rather just move forward, and because folks, the economy in this country is about to crash. We're just letting you know. We all know that. And because why? Because Democrats are losing elections. So since they're losing elections and people don't want communism, they're going to crash the economy to get you to force, to voluntarily force yourself to follow communism. So why are there so many people that are being labeled as having COVID-19? Well, Democrats are losing popularity. That's all. That's all it is. It's a group of people that want to force you to believe, or to give you all the, to give them all your power so they can take over your life and tell you what to do. It's just a bunch of whack jobs. That's all it is. It's very simple. So That's why. I mean, think about it. The Ohio governor, I think Trump was supposed to go meet him a couple of days ago. All of a sudden, he had COVID-19, and lo and behold, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. 2 days later, he didn't have it. He took 2 other tests, and they were negative. He had a false positive. Think about it. Come on, Democrat governor. It's just stupid. The whole thing is just stupid. That's all it is. It's actually embarrassing because all they're doing is showing basically how weak they are, and that's it. Nothing much to it. So we just went ahead and took off the others, the grafted in symbol. We were just honoring James's brother. We had nothing. It had nothing to do with Moloch, but we would rather get rid of the symbol than deal with having to overcome the misconception that we had something to do with Moloch. So it's just easier just to get rid of the symbol. Let's go to something else. Let's move on, and that's it. That's all there was to it. So that's what we did. We went ahead and removed it, and we went back there. Like I said, we're still we're very close to getting the coin taken care of, and we're here. In other words, the Continental dollar is here at the Continental Public Bank to help people through this crisis that's coming up, this manufactured crisis, but the crisis that's coming up, so that the bankers can move towards cryptocurrency. That's what's really going on. They're wanting to move towards crypto. So that's it. They want to do that. They want to go to the chip and all that. I don't want to do that. I think a lot of people don't want to do that. And I think we have enough producers in this country that want to go a different direction than that. Well, this is your opportunity to do that. And we're not private bankers. The money is all people created. People are the ones that create it, not us. Not the government. The people create it. So it's not a private banker type situation. Okay, enough of that. Like I said, you just go to the Continental Public Bank, open up an account, and we can go from there. Okay, I wanted to show this real quick. I don't know if anybody hadn't seen it yet. It's the Beirut explosion thermal imaging showing the missile, which I knew that fertilizer doesn't do what they said it does. I knew the Pentagon was lying about it. So I said, that's not that kind of explosion. That looks like thermal, man. There's something wrong with that. But take a look at all this is thermal imaging. You see the bomb pretty quick, right? There it goes. See that? I'll try it. I'll show you one more time. It'll hit right here. Wham. There it goes. Let me go back 10 seconds. You see it? Wham. Boom. Okay, so somebody attacked it. We don't know who. But obviously somebody attacked that thing. And it happened to be right on top of the Rothschild's bank. And I think it was a bank that was going through some bankruptcy or couldn't pay. It was going through bankruptcy and they couldn't pay anything. So I think they blew it up is what we heard. Okay. But, either way, that's just some sad stuff, man. Anyways, it's a 5-minute video. You can, obviously look it up on the internet. Beirut explosion, thermal imaging showing missile. And the rest is just watching it from a couple different point of views. It'll hit it again here in just a minute or less. Bam. But that's enough to scare the crap out of anybody as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now moving on here, I wanted to get into a little bit of industries. A lot of people have this conception about their names, you know, the person and all that stuff, and a lot of it goes through the patriot groups, and they have all these different theories. But really, what it is the Rothschilds came in and just renamed all the industries and put it in their trust, which was the Internal Revenue Trust. So there's no account that you're going to get, and there's no gold. Like, you're not going to get any gold at the end of any tunnel. You're not going to get a free account where you can go ahead and pay your bills and get free crap. You have to pay your way through this life, you know. That's just how things work. So what we're talking about here is your person, and the reason why a lot of people keep getting messed over is because they, first of all, don't understand what public and private is. And number two, they really don't understand what's happened to them. So you have to get a broader picture. You have to kind of step back and find out what's happening to their person. How is it that these communists are able to do what they do? Just come in and attack, take over, do all this other stuff, and just do it with impunity. It's unbelievable what they're able to do. That's just because you got one family through the city of London that came in and took over and started creating different terms. Believe it or not, the family itself is, regardless of their crimes, if you catch them at their crimes, a lot of times they back away, which is a good idea. Why they do that, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird how these people operate. But you'll notice one thing about this, okay? Look through these terms. You can go through all the terms. You have construction, manufacturing, goods producing industries. Okay, these are all the industries. Industries at a glance, U.S. Bureau, blah, blah, blah. And manufacturing, and you go through all that. Service providing industries, which are different services. And it explains what these industries are, and there's many of them. We have unions in this, in the American National Union, under all these different terms. And you have the only place that says anything would be the private households, dealing with private or clubs. Okay, a private club. You have a social club. You have different clubs. All right. What this covers is industry in the private household subsector include private households that engage in employing workers on or about the premises in activities primarily concerned with the operation of the household. These private households may employ individuals such as cooks, maids, butlers, and outside workers, such as gardeners, caretakers, and other maintenance workers. Okay, so if you ever notice that a lot of people will bring in illegals to do that, especially in California, to take care of their home, have a nanny, and the whole deal, mainly because it keeps their competition down. Other people try, if you have a good nanny, other people try to steal your nanny. So you want to keep them, they use their illegal status to keep control of them and keep them working for them for nothing. It's sad, but true. It's the way it works. Most people with a lot of money think everybody else is dog crap, okay? So this falls under the North American Industry Classification System. You'll notice that when you're looking at these, and I just went through a lot of the list, you don't see anything about a private membership association or a club. There's no industry such as that. Okay? So your person, what we do is it kind of looks like a, you know, like a club where everybody wears the same hat. But what we're actually doing is you see your name and we'll put a PMA at the end of it. You'll see a lot of these names with PMA. private membership associations and stuff like that. And they go, well, that's because you're living in a private. You're working in a private. No, that's not what we're saying. Okay, has really nothing to do with private. I mean, it does, but not the way that they're saying it. Basically, what's happening is your person is not under any of these classifications. Okay, and you're basically operating under in private contract. And when that happens, the contract is the law and the law is the contract. State statutes really don't apply. It's not because I'm sovereign. We don't get that. That's not what that means. Okay. And by the way, I think the term sovereign citizen is absolutely the most retarded thing I've ever seen, because I've never claimed to be a citizen of anything. And I've never claimed to be sovereign of anything. So the whole thing is a communist ploy, okay, to classify you as a domestic terrorist and to kill you. That's what it's for. So if you've ever heard that, then you've been called that before. You just got a murder accusation against you, okay? Especially if a sheriff or a cop says it, you better get your affidavit pretty quick and file it against him, because he just said he was going to murder you. All right, you got to get that on record that he was going to do that. So anyway, notice that your person doesn't really fall into any of these types of industries. And obviously, when you register with the IRS, you do fall under some of these industries, or one of them at least. You don't ever fall under any kind of club or private membership association or anything of that nature. Okay, so when that happens, what we're saying is this: you're separating your public life from your private life, and in other words, your family life. When you do that, they started coming in. The communists started coming in with CPS and violating the privacy of the family, and they did it under the criteria of abused children. Just like the Democratic Party and the lawyers came in, the American Bar Association, all them came in under the guise of racism. You'll notice that that's what they do. That's all they talk about is racism. Everything's a racism. This is racist. They're racist. They're racist. They're racist. And that's because that was a criterion on which they came into the country, is to deal with the racism problem. Which is what I think this is the reason why then the last broadcast that they didn't send anybody back to Liberia. I think that the Rothschilds were working their way in under that excuse. And that started happening right after the Civil War. So anyway, let's go back to it. So when your person falls under one of these industries, you're going to be required to pay their taxes. It's just the way it works. You're using their money, private contract, and you're required to pay their taxes. If you don't, you're outside of that. You don't fall under any of those industries. Then you're left alone. It's just the way it works. It's all under private contract. I'll give you, for instance, say right now you have a company, all right, and you're involved in crop production. Okay? And crop production falls under industries in the crop production subsector grow crops mainly for food and fiber. That's actually kind of funny. The subsector comprises establishments such as farms, orchards, groves, greenhouses, and nurseries, primarily engaged in growing crops, plants, vines, or trees, and their seeds. Okay? So, orchard, greenhouses. All right, so you notice in the cities, they started saying you can't grow your own food anymore because you fall under this particular industries under crop production. That's the only jurisdiction that the city council had was over crop production. All right, but if you're classified as a private club or a private membership association, you're not in crop production. You understand what we're saying? It doesn't matter what you're doing. it matters how you're classified. So if you're classified as a private membership association and a club, what you do to produce income for that club is never seen. That's complete. You're blind to that. Doesn't matter what you're doing. For instance, uh, there was a guy up in Washington. He was running a poker club, and he was serving. There was alcohol there, and there was other things that were going on, and they kept harassing the crap out of him. So he got a hold of the Genoa Institute, okay, which is this right here. And what happened was his that's at genoaholdings.org, got him set up as a private membership association, a club. So all he had to do was put members only on his front door, and they came in and started harassing him. He says, "I'm no longer what you say I am. I'm not a poker club. I'm just a club." Because what we do under private contract here, we have a right to assemble, by the way. And what we do under private contract here is none of your business. You're a so-called public officer. You have no business here if you're not a member. He had to leave. Both of them left, and they never heard from him again. And that's what we do, okay, at the Genoa Institute. It's what we do is we change, like people that do hairdressers, hairdressers. No, just it only applies. The orders are only applying to the industry. You get my meaning? It's the industry that it applies to, not anything else. It does and cannot apply to clubs and private membership associations where you have the right to assemble. So why are they going after the churches? Because the churches are under industry. Believe it or not, they're under industries. Religious, right here. Grant making, civil, professional, and similar organizations. So that's why the churches are being harassed. They're not classified as private membership associations or private trusts or anything of that nature. They're classified as religious organizations, and those are monitored and those are regulated. But anything else, it doesn't matter. In other words, if a public officer can't come in and say, "Oh, hey, man, you guys are doing this, 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 and this." Okay? First of all, nothing nefarious was going on. That's number one. And number two, had no right to come in because he wasn't a member. And if he comes in as a member, he does, under non-disclosure, he doesn't have a right to disclose what's going on in there under private contract. So it doesn't matter what you do. In other words, if you're doing holistic whatever, that's only members know that, okay? If you're registered or you're classified as a private club or a private membership association, okay? So that's why a lot of these people are having such a hard time. They're getting messed with, arts, entertainment, recreation, and all that. So I'll tell you what, you want to open up your theaters? It's real easy. Just make a private club, members only. Doesn't matter what you're doing there. It's not a public building. It's a private building. And if people come in and say, "You guys are doing this, you're violating the governor's order," are you a member? Well, no, get out. What goes on here is none of your business. Okay? That's how that works. These people that were having these parties in California, and it freaked them out. Their governor over there was saying, "Well, we'll just shut off the electricity and the water if people are having these parties and all this kind of crap." Well, if it's a private club that's having a party, It's nobody's business. It's literally a trespass. In other words, that private club could sue the news organization that took those pictures of that party for trespass and violation of privacy. Can literally take them to court. Will win, by the way, because they were not members. It's pretty simple, fairly easy to think about it. And so, say you had an LLC, a limited liability company, and we turned it into a private membership association, which is a process which we do. To do that, you're no longer an LLC, folks. That's just how it works. You're a completely different type of organization. So I just wanted to cover that. A lot of the orders that the Democrats are doing because they're pissed off because they're not going to get, they're thinking they're going to lose their election on this year, and I think they are. I think they're going to, unless they cheat. And everybody knows what's going on. Nobody wants communism here, socialism, and all that kind of crap. And they really don't want to go to a civil war, which is just nasty things. Murder, that's all it is. There is another way, but you just have to understand it, what you're talking about. Anybody saying anything, well, you guys were doing this and doing that. Are you a member? No, get out. None of your business what you saw and what you didn't see. You're violating our privacy. Have a good day. So regardless of what's going on, privacy rights are still there. Membership clubs are still there. It's all still there. Because see, the communists that are coming in and screwing with people, they want their privacy too. They're not going to get rid of those laws. So what happens is that we turn your person into a private membership association. You start running your you don't run your family as a family anymore. You run it as a private club. And you have to be a member. How about that? Therefore, it no longer is qualified or actually qualified as a family. So that kind of gets rid of the folks that like to steal your children, right? Child Protective Services. Kind of gets rid of them, doesn't it? Because you're no longer a family. Everything's classification, folks. So after we bring your person on shore, we deliver your person back on shore. We don't put you under the Constitution of the United States. Believe me, we don't do that. All these rights still apply in international law, by the way, and it's not going to change. The reason is because bankers don't want to get rid of private trusts and private membership associations and stuff like that. They like their clubs. They understand why they do it, and that's why they don't ever get busted, because lawyers know what they're doing as far as that, and what they're doing is perfectly legal. There's nothing illegal about it. You're grown-ups. You don't need somebody, the state, you don't need a nanny state coming over your shoulder and screwing with you all the time. You don't need that. Okay, notice they're talking about masks in Walmart, but I'm just wondering, I don't think I hear much on the news about Sam's Club, because it's a private club. I don't know if they changed their bylaws to where you have to have a mask or not. That's just a question. I haven't really looked into it. So the same thing can happen to your person. You're no longer a public U.S. citizen. You're a private club. That's how your person operates. I've just said a lot there. I'm just waiting for that to click. Just said a lot right away what I'm talking about. So you're welcome to take a look at the Genoa Institute at genoaholdings.org. You're welcome to peruse through the shopping area. The courses Okay, people have been saying. I had one jackwit coming around going, "Hey, it's all $25," and he's complaining. Basically, what he wanted was he wanted the whole thing for free. This is not the prices. The we have packages where all the stuff's included. It's a lot cheaper. And our particular brand of a private membership association, the way that they're written, because it's not just a basic constitution of bylaws. The way it's written, you can essentially create your own church. You could create your own city, and you can create your own state and country with it. The way it's written, okay. So that's why the program requires um, a price here in order for it to work. So we put $25 there just to deter people from doing that, from taking those courses. And you can't take them anyways unless you go to one of these packages. Okay, you have to go to one of the packages and do that. And we teach you how to operate with this. Okay, and so the more the continental dollar starts moving forward and the other economy starts crashing, we'll be slowly moving over to the continental dollar, and that should be within the next couple of, at least by November, because we're hearing that a lot of things are going to really be taking place and going crazy. Pelosi's going to kind of go nuts, Nadler's going nuts, all that kind of crap, and want to implode everything because they don't want to go to jail, when really all they have to do is go their separate ways. You're gonna have to split the country in two, one way or another. This crushing people together is not gonna it's not gonna work. So when Biden keeps saying, "Oh, we all need to come together," nobody's gonna come together with Biden. Biden's nasty. The dude's creepy. He smells hair all the time. He smells children. He kisses children all the time. He likes it when they sit on his lap. He's creepy. He's Creepy Joe. The dude's a pervert. Everybody knows it. He's filling up, under boob and side boobs of really young chicks, little girls that are like 12 years old and 14 years old. It's nasty. And that's what he does. So nobody's going to really want to combine with that. And oh, we all need to come together. Not with you there, Joe. Ugh. And not with anybody else, like Pelosi and Nadler and Schiff and all those guys. They're nasty people. Nobody wants to be around them. It just gives you, I don't know, if you see them, you just want to get a rape shower or something. It's just nasty. So, in my opinion, man, these people are going to burn. That's just my opinion. I'm not making the decisions, but it sounds like they're going to burn after they go. Be burning, be going in the wrong direction. So anyway, it's just for all the crap they do and the things they do. It's just disgusting. And I think Biden was sitting at a party one time with his granddaughter, kissed her square up on the lips a little bit too long. If you follow what I'm saying there, it's just disgusting. So anyway, those people need to go their own way. All the Satan worshipers, you need to separate. Okay, if you want to do your Satan thing, just do it somewhere else. Go over there. Let's draw a line. You stay over there, we'll stay over here. We'll go on with our lives, produce and learn about the word and all these things, and start going towards reconciliation and agape love and all those things. And you can be over there doing whatever crap you do. Okay. I think the one thing we all can't tolerate is children being trafficked and people having sex with them and all that stuff. It's not cool. It's gross. It's disgusting. And it's evil. And I don't think there's certain, lines have to be drawn. Things that can't be tolerated. But anyway. Okay, so now if you see a name with a PMA on the back of it and all that stuff, basically what it is they're operating not as a U.S. citizen or anything else. They're just operating as a private club. And their private club has a contract as an American national or a resident, depending on what they qualified for. And they just keep accumulating things for their private membership association. They're just doing it through private contract. Okay, it's a pretty cool system the way we have it. We're not looking for any kind of recognition from anybody as far as how we do things. It's just what we do. So then you get an idea of how well it works. We've got 4 people, I think, right now in trouble, but that's due to stuff that they had before they got here. And that's it. So many people I think we have in trouble out of the many that we have, over 1,000. We got 4 people that are in trouble with the courts and stuff like that. So, and we'll even teach you how to put a qualified lien on it, so it becomes yours. Nobody bothers you. So, thanks for listening to the 188th broadcast of the T. Rowe Show. I hope you learned something. I want to listen to this a couple of times because I'm actually telling you a lot without actually spelling it out for you. And I do that so others don't come in and steal our information and try to sell it to you. Okay? So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.